Okay, so thank you all for rejoining our presentation. We're going to be talking about reporting VFC vaccine returns and wastage via the immunization registry. So this is another enhancement that we've received grant funds for that we're very excited to tell you about. It's been in the works for 3 years now. So, all right. So for our presentation today, we just wanted to go over our goal. Again, is to go paperless. So we have this vaccine loss reporting form that I hope you folks are all very familiar with. We're trying to take this form and have all reporting go through everything that would appear on this form you would do through the registry. So this would be an easier, more efficient process for both VFC providers and for the VFC program, so we don't have to worry about lost faxes anymore. Yeah, so today's training agenda is going to be divided into two parts, programmatic. So we're going to talk about the differences between returnable and wasted VFC vaccines, as well as technical demonstration using the registry to record and submit vaccine returns and wastage. So just a note on timing, providers are encouraged to report VFC vaccines that have expired, spoiled, or were wasted within 6 months after loss. That being said, if you do have vaccine that more than 6 months have elapsed since expiration, spoilage, or wastage occurred, please go ahead and submit your report anyway. The reason why we ask for timely returns is our program does receive excise tax credits for each vial that you send back. So it's a way of returning money on returnable or wasted vaccines to the program. So we ask that you do not return expired and or spoiled vaccines to the Hawaii VFC program here in Honolulu. All returnable vaccine gets sent to our CDC vaccine distributor. Once returns information has been entered into the registry and it's approved and exported to the CDC, a UPS return label is generated and sent to the email address that you indicate in the registry. So the definition of return. So what kind of vaccines can you return to the CDC vaccine distributor? So vaccines that can be returned include those that have expired, those that have been recalled by the manufacturer, as well as those that have spoiled. So spoilage reasons include a natural disaster or power outage, your refrigerator just something is up with your thermostat and it's too warm or too cold. You unfortunately didn't store it properly upon receipt. Sometimes we have providers that receive vaccine and it sits on their counter for a couple of days. They don't realize that vaccine's in there, so vaccine will spoil. Vaccines that were spoiled in transit, so there was maybe a shipping delay, so it took longer to get to you folks than anticipated. Mechanical failure, so your refrigerator or freezer is just not working right anymore. And then there's another catch-all category of spoiled other. So just a note on returns. Returned vaccine vials and pre-filled syringes must be unopened or intact. So these caps have not been removed. So caps on the syringes, pre-filled syringes, and caps on the vials. So opened, partially used boxes of single-dose vials or pre-filled syringes can be returned if the caps are intact. So it's like this box here, there's 9 doses, the provider used 1 dose. These 9 doses can be returned, so it's okay if the box is opened, just the vials cannot be opened. That being said, opened vials and syringes cannot be returned. The CDC vaccine distributor will not accept it. So this includes any expired or spoiled partial multi-dose vials. Partial or other open vials and syringes must be reported as wastage and disposed of at the provider offices. So if the caps are off, it's not returnable. Please don't report it as in the vaccine return module. It would be counted as wastage. And okay, so this is a little bit complicated here. So our current procedure for expired partial multi-dose vials. So unfortunately, our HIR wastage module is not currently able to process reports of expired partial multi-dose vials, including expired partial multi-dose vials of influenza vaccine. So please don't, I think it might be frustrating for people who try to go into the wastage functionality to report their expired multi-dose vials, but they'll find they can't do it. So in the meantime, we ask that you complete the vaccine loss reporting form to report these wasted vaccines. So sorry, we're not quite paperless yet, but we're getting there, and this is an enhancement that we'll be working on in the future. So we'll let you know when HIR is able to accept partial vial wastage reports due to expiration. Okay, so the definition of wastage. So these are VFC vaccines that cannot be returned to the CDC vaccine distributor. These have to be reported as wastage, and the reasons include broken vials or syringes. Again, that would be unsafe for the to ship back to our distributor, so please don't report these as spoiled. Vaccine drawn into a syringe but not administered. So any lost or accounted for vaccine, non-vaccine products such as immune globulin, HBIG, or diluent. So HBIG we do distribute to our birthing hospitals, so they would need to know that they would report any expired doses as wasted rather than a return. And we have here the category for the partial multi-dose vials. That would be an open vial, but not all doses administered. So again, HIR is not currently able to process reports of expired partial multi-dose vials. So this includes your expired partial multi-dose vials of influenza vaccine that would have expired June 30th. So you may use the HIR wastage functionality, though, to report the loss of non-expired partial multi-dose vials. So these would be partial vials lost due to spoilage. Say you had a temperature excursion and a partial vial in your refrigerator that hadn't expired yet. If it was wasted, you can report it via the registry. So now we'll move on to the technical side, so using the registry to report your returnable vaccine. So to access your returns, you would click on the Manage Returns menu option under the Inventory module. And once you do that, you'll be taken to this Manage Returns screen. So we would ask that you verify your contact information, and this is really important. We want you to verify your email address because this is the address that the UPS return label will be sent to. So if you have any corrections or updates, please call us at 586-8300 on Oahu, 1-800-933-4832, toll free, to provide us with any updates to this email address. And I want to mention that that UPS label that's sent to that email address, please be sure to check your spam folders if you don't see that label. The label is valid for 30 days after your return is submitted. So once that 30 days elapses, we would need to start the whole return process again for you. So to create your VFC vaccine return, click on the Create Return button in this Manage Return screen. The Create Return screen is divided into 3 sections. The top section will have your contact information, and I'll go over these sections in the next few slides. The middle section will contain a list of all expired vaccines in your HIR inventory. So there you would just enter the number of doses to return. And the bottom section of the page will allow you to enter any spoiled vaccines where you would need to enter vaccine info, number of doses, and the reason. So I wanted to point out this number of mailing labels requested option here, and this should correspond to the number of shipping boxes that you'll be using to return vaccines to the CDC distributor. So say you had a temperature excursion, you contacted manufacturers and found out that your entire fridge is spoiled, your vaccines are no longer viable, there's a large volume of vaccines to go back to the distributor. If you're going to send it in 2 boxes, please be sure to indicate that you need 2 mailing labels here. Okay. And again, just a reminder to please mute your phones. I think I hear someone through our conference line. The expired vaccines would be entered in the middle section of the page under expired vaccine, and this will be pre-populated for you. So all you would need to do is find the lot number and enter the number of doses to return. And just a note that HIR will not accept values less than 10 doses for any vaccine supplied in multi-dose vials. So you can see here I have 2 line items that are packaged in 10-dose vials. So values entered for multi-dose vials must be in multiples of 10. And this is because, again, partial vials cannot be returned to the CDC vaccine distributor. So you can see here there's 14 that was entered for a flu vaccine, but these are preservative-free syringes. So individual syringes that are intact can be returned. Only uncapped vials, partial vials, you would need to report as wastage via our vaccine loss reporting form. So you can see the line items here are pretty much identical, but they're different lot numbers, different expiration dates. Okay, so on the bottom section of that form, you'll be able to enter your spoiled vaccines. So spoiled vaccine drop-downs will be populated or pre-populated with your non-expired VFC vaccine inventory. This would be because you would be reporting expired vaccines up in that middle expired vaccine section. So for spoiled vaccines, just enter the trade name, packaging description, NDC, lot number. Expiration date will pre-populate based on your lot number that you select, the number of doses that you're returning, and the reason for the spoilage. So if you have more than 5 vaccines that you need to enter, you're given 5 line items to start with. You click on the Add More Rows button, and you'll be able to enter additional vaccines. After you've entered all of your expired spoiled vaccine information, click on the Submit Return button. Oops, and I clicked and advanced my slide. So you click on the Submit Return button to submit your return to the Hawaii VFC program. So again, these are returnable vaccines accessed through this, Manage Returns menu option. After clicking on Submit Return, you'll see a pop-up message to go ahead and submit your return. Click on OK. To return to the Create Return screen, click on Cancel, and you'll be taken back to your previous screen. Okay, once your return is submitted, you'll be directed to the Manage Return screen. So the return that you just submitted will be divided according to return reason and will display in pending status. So the return that I had, my example return actually included expired vaccines, so it's displaying here in pending status. And let's see, vaccine that was returned to, reported as spoiled due to a natural disaster or power outage, so you can see that in pending. And then on the 21st, there's another one. I also reported vaccine that was spoiled because I didn't store it properly upon receipt. So there it is in pending status. We need to do this because the CDC's vaccine tracking system is unable to accept returns with more than one reason indicated. So the registry has to split it according to return reason prior to our export and upload into the CDC system. And just a note that multiple UPS mailing labels may be generated if you submit returns for more than one reason. For example, expired and spoiled vaccines. If this does occur, just please delete or disregard the unnecessary labels. Clicking on that pending status hyperlink will redirect you to the modify return screen. So again, just like with your vaccine orders and just like with Flu Pre-Book, when it's in pending status, it's still editable. So you can, if you find additional doses that you need to report, go ahead and click on pending and add the doses to your order or to your return report. Once you've amended it, you can go ahead and submit it again by clicking on the Submit Return button. To cancel or delete your return, say it's a duplicate, you would click the Cancel Return button, and that will delete the return. If you need to cancel or delete a single line item from a return report, all you need to do is click on this Remove button here, and then submit the return again. If no changes are necessary, just click on the Cancel button, and again, the Cancel is more like our back button, and you'll return to the Manage Return screen. So what's next? The VFC program staff will review and approve your return, and similar to the VFC vaccine order process, your return will be exported from our registry and sent to the CDC vaccine tracking system. So when this occurs, just like your vaccine orders, your return status will update to sent to CDC. After the export to CDC is complete, your return status will also update to Print Return List. So when you see this, you should have received your UPS label, I think, by that time. So please be sure to check your email that you indicated in the registry. If you don't see it there, again, check your junk mail or spam folders. After you receive that return label and print it, click on this Print Return List to generate the packing slips to enclose with your returned vaccines. When you click on the Print Return List hyperlink, another magical thing happens. HIR will automatically remove the vaccines you're returning from your inventory. So again, if you don't click on this list, these expired, spoiled, the expired or spoiled inventory that you have will continue to remain on all of your inventory reports and returns and wastage screens. So really, you want to click on that list to make sure that you don't see that vaccine in the future because you've sent it off to the CDC vaccine distributor. And just one more thing, although the returns are split according to reason in order to facilitate upload to the CDC's vaccine tracking system, you can enclose vaccines returned for multiple reasons in the same shipping box. So just be sure to include all of the appropriate return lists or packing slips in that box with the vaccine you're returning. Okay, so now I'll move on to wastage. So we just went over the vaccines that you're going to send back to the CDC vaccine distributor. Wastage is used to report vaccines that you cannot send back to the vaccine distributor. So you would access the Manage Wastage menu option on the left side of your HIR screen under the inventory block. In the Manage Wastage screen, we'd ask you to verify your contact information. If any corrections or updates are needed, please call the VFC program at 586-8300 or toll free at 1-800-933-4832. And to create your wastage report, just click on the Create Wastage Report button. You'll be taken to the Create Wastage Report screen, and this looks very similar to the spoiled vaccines reporting via the Manage Returns functionality. So your drop-downs here will be populated with your non-expired VFC vaccine inventory. Again, all expired vaccines should be reported in that Manage Returns functionality because those vaccines you'll be sending back to the distributor. So you would enter the trade name, package description, NDC, lot number. Again, expiration date will populate based on the lot number you select, the number of doses, and then the wastage reason. If you need to enter more than 5 vaccines, just click on the Add More Rows button, and additional data entry lines will appear for you. When you're done with your data entry, just click on the Submit Wastage Report button. And just like with returns, after you submit that report to the VFC program, you'll be returned to the Manage Wastage screen. And the wastage report will be divided according to the wastage reason that you selected. So in my example, I think I indicated a broken vial syringe, so it's currently in pending status. Vaccine was drawn into a syringe but not administered. That's in pending status. You can see the different reasons here. And again, we need to do this because this, in order to facilitate upload into the VTRACS, the CDC's vaccine tracking system. Again, they're not able to accept wastage reports with more than one reason indicated. Okay, clicking on that pending status hyperlink will redirect you to the Modify Wastage screen. Again, anything in pending status is still editable by the provider. So if you need to update your figures here for the vaccines, you can go ahead and do that and click on the Submit Wastage button. If you need to cancel or delete your report, you would click on the Cancel Wastage button, and that'll delete the wastage report. If you need to delete a single line item, you would select the Remove checkbox and then click on Submit Wastage. And if no changes are necessary, you would click on the Cancel button to return to the previous screen, Manage Wastage Report. And I just want to add, too, if you do submit a report for only one, that included one line item only, and you need to cancel it, please don't check the Remove and Submit, because then, I mean, you'd be submitting a blank wastage report to the VFC program. If you need to delete a wastage report that included only one line item, you would use the Cancel Wastage button up here. Okay, so for wastage, we would, the VFC program staff will review and approve your wastage report. These vaccines will automatically deduct from your HIR inventory. And similar to the VFC vaccine order process, we're going to take it, export it from the registry, and send it off to the vaccine tracking system. So when this occurs, your report status will update to complete. So again, wasted vaccines, you're not sending it anywhere. There's no label to look for. You would just dispose of it at your facility or office. Okay, so we have a frequently asked question. So this is like your pop quiz. Provider calls and says, I have several partial vials of influenza vaccine that have expired. They all have the same lot number, so can I add the doses together and report them in the expired vaccine section of Manage Returns? So what do you guys think? Can the provider do that? The answer is no. Partial or open vials of vaccine are not returnable items, so they should be reported as wastage. And unfortunately, currently, the HIR wastage module is not currently able to accept reports of expired multi-dose vials. So until that system enhancement is implemented, please use the vaccine loss reporting form to report expired multi-dose vials, partial multi-dose vials to the Hawaii VFC program. Okay. So I think we have about 5 minutes left. We'll take some time now to answer a few questions related to returns and wastage.
Just a reminder, if you have any questions, please type them into the chat box. I don't see any questions right now. And that was a pretty complicated session, so I'm surprised there aren't any, but please type those questions into the chat box, and then I can ask them of Heather.
Okay, we're still on questions, but I'm just going to pull up the slide with our contact information. I know, I'm sorry, that process is a little complicated, and we're still working on it, on improving it. So if you do have questions or you think of questions later, please feel free to give us a call or send us an email too. We'd be happy to talk with you.
Here's a couple that came through. Okay, so if I created a return for flu about 2 weeks ago, do I need to redo it?
No, I know providers, this functionality has been in the system actually for several months now. So some providers have been going in and just trying it on their own, which we do appreciate because that saves time for us. But no, they wouldn't need to redo their return.
If they just check their email, if they haven't received the label, to give us a call, then I can follow.
Okay. I'm being reminded that if you haven't received your label for that, if we did process it, please give us a call and let us know, and we can follow up on that.
How about once we get all the wastage, expired, returned, etc. turned in, will our inventory be updated to delete all old items, or will only current show?
The expired vaccines should disappear from that expired vaccine section. I think it depends on if you submit vaccine administration visit records to our program. If we have data entry occurring after the fact, you may still see inventory in your system just because we're trying to catch up on data entry on our side. I hope that helps. So the number of doses that you do indicate are going to be returned or wasted will deduct from your inventory. I'm not sure if that would zero out your inventory in all cases, but it will reduce it.
Another participant is asking, what is the website link for the DOH immunization branch? We have multiple web pages on our website, and for these archive sessions, once we get them downloaded and posted to the website, then I'm going to do an email blast out to everyone on my distribution list, hopefully by the end of this week, with the link to the exact page. And it's going to be a YouTube link, I believe, so you'll be able to view it via YouTube link on that web page on our website. Another question a participant is asking, may anyone submit for return vaccines, or just one person, or just the person who does all of the orders?
It should be the primary contact person that's in between or otherwise we have to change the
Yeah, I think anyone who is able to log into the system and sees that menu option should be able to submit the return, but just know that the UPS label will only go to the email address that appears on that Manage Return screen. Yeah. Danielle, I think we're at the top of the hour, too.
Okay. Just real quick, also people are asking about the slides. Are these slides going to be available to review? And are you able to print out today's slides? These slides went out with the email yesterday that had the instructions, but I will send them out again when I send out the web link, and they'll be posted. We would like to post them on our website as well. So yes, they will be available. Heather, is there anything else you wanted to add before we end this session?
No, just thank you to everyone who participated in our webinar. I know this is new functionality, new processes, so thank you for your patience and thank you for working with us. We really appreciate your support as we try these electronic paperless kind of processes.
Thank you, Heather. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.